Hello there, this is Gary, and I have here two Bulova watches from the early 1970s. And they are the Sea King model, and you can see the whale on the front, and they're both automatics as well. These are really cool, early 1970s. You can tell by the shape of the case and the clunkiness of them. Um, I don't say that in a negative way. I really love the heft of them and the feel. They are definitely of the time period, and I really think that that's cool. I'm going to work on this one, this light brown dial, a clean and also a service, and I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. I'm going to put this one to the side. I wanted to show you how the back comes off. There's a ring here where you use the case opener tool here to unscrew it, and it's just a little bit different than what I've seen before. Let's see if I did it far enough. Yeah, I did. So there is a ring, a screwed ring like that. By the way, this says 10 karat rolled gold. It's white. It's a white gold, but it's interesting that they plated that in gold. There's a tab right here that you push open, and that tab goes into that hole right there, and that seats the case back into the back of the case. What we're seeing here is a really clean movement. It's not too fancy, but I do like the fact that it is just gold tone. Just some things I'm seeing here. First of all, it's pretty clean and no rust. That's the most important thing. The balance wheel is not weighted, so it's just kind of a plain balance wheel there. But it is a jeweled watch, and so you can see the jewels here in this, which is the automatic movement. Now, one thing that we see it is missing the automatic pendant, which moves around here and keeps the watch wound. And that's where I'm going to compare this to the other one with the blue face here. And I already have the case back off of this one. And you can see that this one does have the pendant here. And if I move that up there like that, you can see that the movements are pretty much identical, except for a couple things. This one would be the 17 jewel watch. This is the 23 jewel watch. And what I'm noticing here is that you can see these 2 points here in the automatic bridge are just pivot holes punched through the bridge. There's no jewels in those 2. But over here, these are jeweled, these 2. On the pendant over here, what I really like is that it has the B for the Bulova. This actually is marked 17 jewels, and it has the model number here, Bulova Watch Company 11 ANACB. In advance of working on this watch, I went on eBay, and I actually was able to find some pendants, and I ordered them on eBay. They actually weren't that expensive. 2 different types here. They are slightly different with the model number. This one says 11 ANAC, and this one says 11 ANACB. They both say 17 jewels. So I'm going to try to use one of these on here, even though this is a 23 jewel watch. So we'll just have to see as we get into it if either of these will work right. So let's see if that did the trick, and it did. Great. There is the gasket here, and then also what looks to be this plastic retaining ring as well. So I'm going to see if they will want to come out here. Yeah, it looks like it's lifting up a little bit. That still feels pliable. And there we go. The case itself still looks pretty clean in there, so that's a real good sign. We'll polish that up, and that will come up really nice. The dial also appears to be very clean. I'm going to put the crown and stem back in to see if I can move the hands. I'm going to put it in a movement holder there. Then all three hands, I just like to just kind of turn the dial over. So to remove the dial, looks like there are two dial screws, and you can actually see the posts. There's a post right there with a screw that goes at a 90-degree angle, and then there's another post right here, and the screw right there. Like that. Okay, so these two rings here, and of course here is that what I call the silicone ring, which appears to be rubber. I've been looking at this for a while, and I'm really not sure how to take this calendar ring, these two rings off. So I'm just going to go ahead and proceed and see if it becomes clearer. But to protect the ring, I'm just going to put my little plastic there in the movement holder. And I had let the watch run down already, so I'm going to consider this that the mainspring is wound down. That's my working assumption right now. But I'm going to go ahead and take the balance out. Just gently prying that. There we go. Four jewels in there. This wheel here is the wheel that interacts with the wheel on the pendant that goes right here. That turns this, and that turns all of these wheels here to then wind the mainspring. And then the intermediate wheel here. Then the big wheel goes on top here. That is tight. Okay, wait. Okay, I think maybe it was just engaged with that other wheel, so it appeared to be very tight. And then this one. Yeah, so here are two more screws for this bridge, so I'm glad I didn't pry too hard on that. Let's see, will this come up? Yep. Automatic pendant turns. It turns through these this reversing gear, and then this will turn the barrel wheel to actually wind the mainspring. That was kind of loose, not tight. That one was okay. Okay, that came up pretty nicely. Aha, there's the train of wheels. Down there. Now the rest of the train of wheels can come out. The seconds wheel, I wonder if it has a cannon pinion on there. I don't know, since oh, no, it doesn't. So that means the dial side has a little bit of a different kind of configuration. That you would normally have a cannon pinion on the other side holding it onto the plate, but that one came right out. Aha, look at that. That has a pinion on the bottom that interacts with a wheel right down in there, and that wheel is on the other side of the plate. I can just see right in there probably the hour wheel. And let's see if the escapement wheel will want to come out. Oh yeah. This is the click and click spring. Whoops, there we go. Fortunately, that didn't fly far. There's the click spring. Okay, so there is the barrel. Take this spring off. And then one screw here for the pellet fork. So with this, I just always really want to be really careful, because if you pry this sideways, there's a chance that it will just break the pivot off. So I just try to just very carefully lift up here. You can see it has moved. Keyless works. This the pinion winder here, that will come out. Yep. Just make sure which yeah, that's okay. Standard orientation there. And here we go. Pry a little bit here. And I'm just going to raise it up a little bit. Take the pressure off of this like that, and then there we go. Okay. Great. And so this has a cog here, and here's the spring loaded lever right there, and it interacts with this wheel right there. And just need to take this spring out of here. Oh my gosh, that popped out, went straight up and came straight down. Fortunately, I just didn't have it held well enough there, but that was lucky that I was able to find that. Now when I turn that, I can see how this spring right here, there's another spring that goes right up there. It's covered up by this plate here, and that piece goes right in there into the cogs of this date wheel. Let's take that silver plate out. Pretty sure this is, oh, there we go. So it did come out. All right. And that looks like that has the spring on the other side. That just came out with it. Yeah, that's just kind of on there because there's a little bit of grease on the plate, and so that spring was holding up here. But anyway, let me do this first. So this was, I think it was in, it looks like it was good. It goes in that small hole right there. That looks to be about the same size. Then this comes out of there. That goes into that hole like that, like so. See that? This is what is turning, I believe this is turning the day wheels that control the day. Boy, look at that. This wheel goes right in there, but that is under spring pressure. I'll take the cannon pinion out. Here's something that I want to make sure that I mark and remember, and that is these two pieces right here. These wheels are slightly different. I'm going to wait to take those out until I take this plate out, and the setting lever, I believe the screw is still in on the other side, so I'll have to get that as well. And then there's also another spring that I'm seeing right there. Okay, goes like that. Then this can come out like that. Looks like a little wrench, just like that. Okay, a few more pieces. Wow, this is as complicated as I've done before, so it will be interesting. Put this back together. So this little cog here, on the right, it is slanted at the top, beveled. It is straight at the bottom and beveled at the top. And then this one is, it's at least straight at the top. Let's see about the bottom. Okay, interesting. So I wonder if that was just put in there incorrectly, but these appear to be the same. But this one, the beveled edge, which seems to be beveled, was on the bottom. See how that looks beveled? This was upside down. And then this one was the beveled edge up, like that. That's how I just took them out. Two more pieces right here. And that is interacting on the spring right there. Put the screwdriver in here to pry the spring away from this cog so that I can lift that up. Like that. And this unique one goes right in there. Let's see, let's take a look at these more closely. Wow, that is a stack of cogs with a spacer at the bottom. My guess is that there's three of them there. I don't know if they are made together or if they are just stacked loosely and they'll come apart, but that was in there like that. Three pieces. And then this has this like cam on the top, and this is a two pieces. So there are three springs here that I'm just going to leave as is. This straight one here, this one here that I tried to get out, and it's just in there very securely. I'll leave that. And then this one here, I'm going to go ahead and leave that in as well, because I can just clean around that. Because actually, this movement is not very dirty. I mean, I'm sure it has dirt on it, but it's not visible dirt. So I'm going to get this all washed up, and then we'll put it back together. Well, we have everything washed. All the parts have been washed and cleaned, and I am reassembling this from the top side here, and I've already completed a couple steps. I went ahead and put the pallet fork in right here, and the pallet fork bridge, and I also have the escapement wheel in place. Sometimes that takes a while to set, so I just went ahead and did it. Well, the way I like to do it is I test to make sure that the pallet fork pivots are in the right place by just taking my oiler and just kind of touching through the top jewel right here. And when I do that, you'll be able to see the pallet fork move just a little bit like that. There, that means that I'm able to touch the pivot of the pallet fork, and it is free and clear. Before I move forward, I'm going to oil the pallet fork jewels and put a little oil on the escapement as well. You can just see a tiny little, tiny like microscopic drop go onto the stone there. Just put a little oil on some of those tines, and then as the wheel turns around, it will distribute that oil on. And I've already tested the barrel arbor just to make sure that it's caught on the mainspring. The mainspring looks to be in very good condition. I didn't take it out, but it's not rusty. It's nice and shiny in there. And so put the cap on here. So now I can put this on here and give it a push and listen for the snap. And let's see how it looks. Great, looks good. This will go in this way and then turned 180 degrees. Yep, you can see that's spinning free and clear. And then I have the barrel bridge ready to go with the click spring and the click lever in here already. If I can put this on without knocking it off. There we go. That just needs to set down on that. So that is pretty secure right there. So I'm going to also put a little bit of the 9010 oil in there, just right where that meets up. Yep. And now, just to hold that spring in place, I want to put the barrel wheel, and we'll do that with the star pattern orienting on the top. Line up the oval shape with the barrel arbor there, so that that lands in the right place. You can see the click there moving. Yep, moving on the barrel wheel. Great. This one will go down, this cog goes down through this hole and will interact with wheels on the other side that are not in there yet. But this edge needs to go underneath the barrel wheel, so hopefully I can get that in there. Like so, without having to take that barrel wheel off again. Okay, I got this in. I did have to take the barrel bridge off in order to in order to slide this this wheel kind of into its slot, and then I had to put the barrel back in. And, but it didn't take that much longer, but I just needed to do it in that sequence. Lastly, here is the seconds wheel. And it looks like I do need to take I think I need to take the barrel wheel off again to get that down in there. So it looks like I put that on a little bit too soon, so I hadn't tightened this up yet, so that's okay. Yeah, the the challenge is it does lift up the actual click lever. It kind of attaches to the wheel there, so I have to do that. The click spring stayed in there though. Okay, and so that dropped down there now, and that is good. Okay, almost ready for the bridge here. The bridge of the train of wheels. Just line this up as much as I can. Before I put the bridge on, I need to put on this spring set right here. There we go. Good. I have to figure out the orientation here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 pivot points. That one's in. That one is close. 1, 2. This one is a little bit hard to tell, and this one I can't quite see. So I didn't take much time here to get this bridge on here, and very happy about that. Next, I'm going to assemble the automatic assembly here, and I'm going to be putting these parts in. These are the automatic bridge parts. So I'm going to start with the intermediate wheel. It's going to go right on that post right there. I'm going to set it there for now because I want to put a little bit of grease on that area. Just like that. Work that grease around right there. Just a little bit. And those gears mesh with the barrel wheel. Next, there is the intermediate wheel, and again, I will wheel this from the other side. Now, so there's two wheels, one here and one here, and they're very interesting wheels. When I was taking this apart, I was showing you that that they are actually the same. I was wondering that, but they are the same size, diameter, and they have a two-part. There's a part here that goes on top, right like that, and it's ratcheted. So I did put a little bit of grease there, and I hope that is correct. It would seem like if you have two ratchet parts, that you would want a little grease there. So this just goes right on the top, like that, and then it will hold that together. And the ratchet teeth on both sides of those pieces, they mesh together. There's one, and let me do the bottom one here first. Putting that grease on there will also help hold that top part on, since I'm turning it upside down, so that it doesn't fall. Off. And here is the other side. The way these wheels are designed, it's really tricky, because you can't really tell if it is in the pivot hole or not. You just have to kind of go by feel. They are meshed right there. Let me just see if I can just push this just a little bit. That looks pretty good. There's one more wheel here to go in over this way. I have to be very careful when we put the bridge on here, just so that I don't crush the pivots. Okay, so I'm going to try to line this up. Okay, that and that just fell in. I think that one did too. Just this one here. Oops. Okay, that's in again. Gently just hold the plate right there. Oh, that might have done it. That one's in. All right, when I turn that, you can see it's turning this wheel, and it is turning all of them, including that one. I have learned the hard way that you want to be absolutely positive that the pivots are in their jewels before you tighten the bridge down. Okay. You can definitely see the pivot there now, and there, and there, and there. When the pendant is on here, it's going to swing either way, and that means it's going to turn this in either direction. So if it turns this direction, you can see that this wheel here is moving down or counterclockwise. Now, if I make this one move this way, move the opposite direction, you can see this one is still moving counterclockwise. That is the mechanics behind the automatic movement, which is pretty brilliant. That's why this is called reversing gear, because no matter which way this one turns, the wheels move in the same direction. I could put the balance wheel on, but I think the other side is going to be so fiddly that I am going to work on the day-date mechanism first. I'm going to start with the pinion winder here, and I'm going to put this right in there like that. The second piece here. Aha, there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and put the crown and stem in here so that will hold these two pieces in place, kind of keep them from falling out, but more importantly, put them in the right position. So when I put the setting levers in there, that they are in there correctly. And the setting lever is next. This lever will go right in here, and it just needs to have the spring, this straight spring, go against that, and that needs to go right in that groove right up there, and it's now against that spring, so just put that right there. Next, this lever will go right in here, right on this post, almost there. There we go. There we go, just like that. First one has a cam on it on the top. Like that. There's this spring here, and so I need to pull the spring out so that this wheel will sit down correctly. There we go. There we go. Good. Now we'll need to go in like that. Now there are the two gear wheels that go right here. This wheel here has the beveled edge on top, and the other one has the beveled edge on the bottom. Now this setting lever, this plate and the setting lever, I'm a little bit worried about it. As you can see, the arm is slightly bent. And there's a little bit of a mark in the metal where it shows that it maybe has bent. So it might be a weak area in it, but I don't have another one. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one in, but I'm just noting it. Put that in there loose for right now because there's some parts here that need to integrate. I'm going to need to put that screw on here before I can go much further here. And I just want to record this just so I have a record of it how the crown activates using the setting lever there. So this is all the way in. And if you turn this, it's going to wind up the mainspring. And then if you push or pull, it goes into the second position for setting the time. You can see the wheels move right there. But interestingly, if you turn it forward, you can look at the escapement wheel. That is odd that it's doing that. Usually the escapement wheel is blocked by the pallet fork, but I don't know. I just have a question mark there right now. Then if I pull it a little bit farther, Let's see, go back to that's the first position, second position, and then a little bit more, you can see that arm come in there. And if I keep doing that, 1, 2, 3, it moves this cam wheel here. And I think that has something to do with setting the date. It kind of goes 180 degrees very quickly. Okay, so watch it again. Here, try to do it real slow there. Yeah. So we're going to move on here, and I'm going to turn this 180 degrees, and we're going to go ahead and put in the these wheels right here. Too much. Okay. A bit here too. This one will go right over here. Okay, here it is. I heard it click in there. The cannon pinion. Let's see if this will go in without moving this wheel out of the way here. Okay. Take a look. I have to look at this under the loop because yep, that is in. All right, great. I have another wheel that needs to go right in. It's going to go right in there on that post, but I have to put the bracket in first. Look at that, fell right into place. Secret with these tiny screws is as soon as your screwdriver makes contact with the screw, you need to turn. If you try to push, the screw will fly out. There's a little space between, this is like a double cogged, double sprocketed cog here, and there's a little gap in between, and that gap is where this bracket goes. So you have to actually slide the wheel onto the bracket first and then put it down. Got an idea? I don't want to remove the bracket altogether because bracket is, I'm just going to loosen this screw, and then I'll be able to, should be able to slide this in here, but above the post. This is tricky work. Okay, I slid that right onto the bracket there, and so now I just need to lean that down, or kind of let it fall down onto the post, just like that. Great, now I can put the other screw in. There we go. Next is going to be this bracket here, but also, before I put that in, I think it's time to put the date wheel in. Okay. And let me see here. Here we go. This arm is going to go in there like that, but that is upside down. So turn them around. Just like that. Right. And that goes in there like that. And then the spring goes in here. That can go right like that, interact with the spring. And then to hold that in place, this bracket will go on here. Made a slight change here. The bracket is on now, but I did, you can just barely see the spring here, and the spring needed to go on this side of this part of the plate. So now it's, you can see how it interacts there, and once I put the date wheel on there, this will interact with those notches. Go ahead and put the hour wheel on. So this is the arm for the day wheel, just like that, right into that hole in the barrel bridge, like that. If you remember, here is that the day wheel, and that is going to, this part right here is going to go right up into there, and that is how that is going to hold that together. There we go. Great. You say, well, what does that interact with? Well, that interacts with this cog on the back of the day wheel. So go ahead and do that. Just need to make sure that this piece here is engaging I think this bracket does need to be removed. Okay, so I did need to take this gold plate off, and the other plate underneath that one, in order to get the date wheel to set in there. But now I have it all back together. All right, now the fun part. Going to put the balance in, and then we can just see if this thing will run. Give this another try. It looks promising there. Okay. It is turning, very low amplitude, but I haven't put the screw in here yet, so I'm going to do that, and hopefully that will straighten things up. Just a little snug, not too tight yet. Okay. Is it moving the... It's moving the pallet fork, and it is moving the movement. So I can see right there with that wheel turning. All right. That is great to see. Great to see that. Great. I'm going to leave this run for a little bit and just see how it performs. So I took the day ring and the date ring off a couple times and the plates underneath there because what I was finding is they were not turning smoothly, and so what I ended up doing is the metal plates underneath, I just backed the screws off maybe about a quarter of a turn or so. And what that did was it just allowed just enough space for the date wheel, especially the date wheel, the one in black, to be able to move smoothly. And I'll just show you now how it moves, and I'll also just this is also a way that we can show you how to advance the day and the date. First, I'll work on the day. There's no shortcut on the day, so you just have to make sure that, okay, that's the first position there. So you want to make sure you're in the second position. I just pulled it out into the second position. And then you just need to, I'm turning it, the crown counterclockwise. And you just have to kind of go through all the hours. And then you will see it click over it. There we go. Right now over to the Friday position. Great. And today is Friday, so that's where I want it. You'll notice this particular date has a large day and a small day. So I'm on I'm using the large day. I guess you could choose the other one if you wanted to. Okay, so how to change the day, or sorry, the date. It's on the second, Friday the 2nd right now. The way you do it is you push the crown all the way in to what I would call the first position. And then you pull it out to the second and a little bit farther, and that will move the date wheel. So let me try that. So I'll just push it in there to the one, and I'll pull it out and keep going. Okay, actually just moved into the second now. So pushed it all the way in, move it out, and to the third. Back in all the way, pull it out a little bit farther to the fourth. Back in. Today's the 10th, so I'm just going to keep going here. In, out, all the way to the 6th. In, out, all the way to the 7th. 8, 9, 10. And that's how you set the day and the date on the watch. Fortunately, there's that shortcut for the date wheel. Otherwise, that would be really annoying, having to wind a watch. I mean, almost impossible. But anyway, that's how we do it. Still feels a little loose. Might be that this one still needs to be tightened just a little. All right, the dial is on snugly, and now for the hour hand. Now the second hand, I always love putting the second hand on because you can see it turning right away. And you can see that the day and date wheel is starting to turn. And so that's good. That should snap over there pretty soon. And I'll just set that right over here. And then I have the case, which has been all polished up. It's just use metal polish on that, and then also a little bit of Polywatch liquid on the crystal, and that really came up really nice. So before I case this, I need to take the crown and stem out. Well, I forgot to put this in. This plastic or silicone ring here. So I've taken it apart and I had to take the hands and the dial off. But that's okay because this is important. It sits right in here and it provides a spacer for between the dial and the calendar rings, so that way they will spin freely and it won't bind with the having the dial on top of it. So that was an important thing. You know, sometimes you have to kind of just back up and do things over again, but that's all right. And so you can see that our the time is advanced, and now the day and date we'll have turned over to Saturday the 11th. So I'm just going to kind of just repeat my steps here. Oh, there we go. Snap that in, and yeah, that feels good. And I can now snug up those screws. Now it's time for the hands. You know, sometimes when you have to back up and take something apart, it's not, you know, all bad news. First of all, it really doesn't take that much longer. You certainly don't want to leave any parts out of the watch. So now I have that in there, and actually now because I was able to take it apart, I was able to take a look at these hands, and I just used a little Rodico to remove some of the smudges on them. So I like the way they look. Now they look much cleaner, and so that's kind of, you know, kind of a side positive result of having to go backwards a little bit. So we know that the date and the day have just turned over, so I'm going to say that it's about midnight. Sorry, I'm going to say that it's about 1 in the morning, and that's where I'm going to put the hands. Okay. Just looking to make sure that they will pass. There we go. See how that one just kind of tilted up a little bit. Yeah, I just want it to have enough clearance. Great. And then I can test it as well. I'll test that once I have it in the case. Like that. Now I should be able to tighten that. The screw, pinion winder screw. Sorry, lever set screw. Okay. That looks good. So I'm going to want to flip this over so I can check the hands. But for right now, I'm just going to put the back on so that just holds it in there snugly while I turn it over briefly. Okay. And you can see our date advanced, so I will have to change that, but that's okay. Yeah, that looks like that is turning very well. Okay. And yeah, great. So now I can go over here and complete this side. These probably had, you know, I think I did this before, but just with all the handling of the watch, you know, I just think that there probably was some of that may have come off. So it won't hurt to have it in there. All right. Yep, just those 4. Great. Now, the pendant, of course, will go on there like just like that. But there are ball bearings right in there because it turns on that post. So I do want to put some grease in there in those ball bearings. We're very, very close here to being finished. And this is a brand new part to this movement, so hopefully this will work okay. This has the wheel here that interacts with that wheel right there. So I'm going to set it this way so I can just see, make sure that that is meshing okay. And you can see the wheels turning there. So that did sit right down on there. That looks to be in good shape. Good. And the way that stays on there is a little plate that goes right in there, and it that will hold that. So I had it upside down, but here it is. It goes in here, and this kind of the flanged end there goes on the top of that cog that's underneath this plate, and that will just sit right in here, just like that. Okay, just gently tight at first so that I can look in here just to make sure that this is still okay. Move that around so that that grease kind of distributes there in those ball bearings, because that gets a lot of movement. And that is really looking great. That's a better way to test it. Simulate how it'll act when it's on a wrist. And fall down there and turn, go either way, like that. Yep, and that's what you want. It's very snug. I like that. So that feels really good. So that is a result, and so now it is time to close this up. Goes down there on that rubber gasket, and then here's the tightening ring. Yeah, that feels very secure, and I can just snug it up a little bit more than with the wrench. One final thing to do, and that is put a strap on here. And ordered a strap, and kind of feeling a little bit bold, so I am gonna go for this this red strap. I think that kind of complements that taupe dial and the gold very nicely. And why not? It's a watch that's 55 years old. So at least a little bit more, and so why not go bold? This watch happens to be watch band happens to be a quick release, which they're really great, very easy to put in. Should just pop right into place there. Not quite. Just move it around, yeah, like that. And this side too. There we go. This makes it great too if you want to, change them out from time to time. It only takes a few seconds to do that. But anyway, this is the watch. Very excited to have this together. It was interesting to do this with this the complications of the day date. It does make it a little bit more intricate and a little bit more involved, but makes it a little bit more satisfying when it is all complete. So look forward to getting this back to Jim. I think he's going to really love it. It really is a great piece, definitely of the era, but I think it looks pretty fantastic for right now as well. So thank you for coming on this journey with me, and I will see you next time.